Most people spend their lives waiting. They wait for the perfect business idea, rely on a single paycheck to pay the bills, and passively accept whatever standard medical care they're handed. It's a state of permanent drift. If you follow the default rules of society, you get the default results. You spread your focus across a dozen different side hustles, you wait for total certainty before making a move, and you end up watching other people live out your dreams while you stay exactly where you are. The ultra-wealthy operate on a different system. They don't let fear paralyze them, and they don't leave their outcomes to chance. They take ownership of every variable they can control, from the compounding numbers in their bank accounts to the cellular regeneration inside their bodies. So, what happens when you stop waiting for reality to happen to you? What if you decided to proactively engineer your own physical and financial trajectory? You realize that wealth and vitality aren't lottery tickets handed to the lucky. They are the result of a deliberate, aggressive choice to stop settling for the standard. In global business, success rarely comes from a flawless plan. Wealth is tied to how quickly you make decisions. Taking action and learning from data beats waiting for the stars to align. When a young Richard Branson was stuck in an airport because his flight was canceled, he didn't sit around complaining. He immediately called a charter company, booked a private plane, and wrote Virgin Airlines $39 on a whiteboard. He filled the plane with his fellow stranded passengers and made his money back on the spot. That kind of speed requires intense focus. While average investors are taught to spread their bets, Warren Buffett views diversification as a protection against ignorance. Billionaires build wealth by picking one area of passion, cutting out distractions, and concentrating their energy on mastering it. This diagram illustrates the cash conversion cycle. Amazon figured out how to get paid by customers up front on day 0, while waiting until day 28 to pay suppliers for those same products. By maintaining a negative 24-day cash cycle, the business funded its own growth. At the macro level, controlling how fast you move and concentrating your capital are the specific strategic advantages that protect you from fear and market panic. But you can't execute those strategies if your brain is constantly overwhelmed. You have to pull that high-level control down into your daily psychology. High achievers protect their mental energy. By using morning routines to force their brains into an alpha wave state, they can look at their biggest business problems with a relaxed, creative focus that you'd never find in a state of panic. That same discipline applies to personal finance. The first bill you pay each month must be to yourself. Before rent, before groceries, you siphon a chunk of your income into investments. It becomes a non-negotiable habit. This graph shows the mathematical reality of compound interest. A small investment made early and reinvested continuously snowballs on its own, easily eclipsing a much larger sum invested a decade later. Wealth comes from letting your money earn money on top of itself. Once that first income stream is compounding, you build another. Relying on a single paycheck is a point of failure in your financial ecosystem. By layering active business income with passive investments, you create a system that pays you while you sleep. By mastering your mental state and automating these rules, you aren't just reacting to the market anymore. You're building a buffer that allows you to stay rational when everyone else is panicking. Yet, all the compounding wealth in the world is useless if you don't have the physical time to spend it. When Tony Robbins faced a career-ending spinal injury, he didn't accept the standard prognosis. He sought out regenerative treatments. By using 4-day-old stem cells, he bypassed the limitations of his own aging biology, waking up without the chronic pain that had plagued him for over a decade. This same proactive ownership is now being applied to longevity. Using tools like the Grail blood test, doctors can now detect 50 different cancers at stage 1, long before symptoms appear, turning a fatal diagnosis into a manageable outpatient procedure. AI-driven CCTA scans can now digitally map arteries to distinguish dangerous soft plaques from healed calcified ones. This allows physicians to predict potential heart issues up to 5 years in advance, giving the patient time to adjust their lifestyle before an emergency occurs. This process continues at the cellular level. Sirtuin genes regulate how we age, but require a fuel source known as NAD+. As we age, NAD+ drops. By boosting that fuel, we empower sirtuins to clean waste and repair damaged DNA strands, slowing the aging process. When you layer these diagnostic tools together, your health stops being a mystery you hope for and starts becoming a dataset you manage. You move from reacting to symptoms to preventing them before they start. Mastering your money and mastering your cells are the same pursuit. They both demand a shift from being a passenger to being a pilot. Your inherited DNA is just code, a blueprint. Through epigenetics, your choices determine which genes turn on and which stay dormant. Your biology is not a permanent destiny, and neither is your bank balance. Your current net worth is a snapshot of your past decisions, not a limit on your future potential. You might not have Branson's capital or Robin's access yet, but you have the same capacity to make a decision today. Whether it's automating a small savings transfer or researching a new health diagnostic, the first step is reclaiming the agency to act. Real freedom requires leaving the default path behind. Abandon the drift, take ownership of your inputs, and start compounding.